Good day to you, one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again. You may recall around about 1 year ago when I started doing this channel. Oh, by the way, happy anniversary. It's 1 year. I covered an Adele song, and I spoke fondly and warmly of it. And today I'm going to cover another Adele song called I Drink Wine. The video was released on the 26th of October, but the song was released last year. And people say it's like a real highlight, so I'm excited to watch it and react to it. And I hope you are too. Yeah. Justin Hawkins rides again. Okay, so I Drink Wine is from Adele's fourth studio album, which is called 30. And she co-wrote this song with Greg Kurstin, who is an absolute genius. He was playing on the Taylor Hawkins tribute shows in his capacity as keyboard genius. He did all the stuff on the Level 42 cover, which has just sounded exactly like the record. It was amazing. The song is about letting go of one's ego and addresses Adele's divorce. I Drink Wine received generally positive reviews from music critics, some of whom viewed it as one of Adele's best songs and a career highlight. Adele is one of the world's best-selling music artists, with sales of over 120 million records. Time magazine named her one of the most influential people in the world in 2012 and 2016 and 2022. Her third tour saw her break attendance records globally.
How come we both become a version of a person we don't even like?
Yeah. I think that's what's happening. I mean, obviously, I'm probably missing out on some of the nuances and ninths and bits and stuff that Greg Kurstin is putting in the keyboard part there. I'm just trying to simplify this for the purposes of analysing the arrangement.
How can one become so bounded by choices that somebody else makes?
So that first part is B flat, passing A to a G minor. Now G minor is the relative minor of the first chord. So it's a really strong sequence. Relationally, there's nothing in there to piss you off. And then it goes to C minor, I think.
How come we both become a version of a person
And then B flat again.
don't even like?
And then the bass goes to an A, but it's not actually playing that chord. I think it's probably an F, and then the bass is doing an A, which is the major third of the F. So the bass is giving you some harmonic information, but it's also kind of the natural sort of wandering down, feels like it's leading you somewhere else. But then it goes back up to. I think what's confusing me is the first time it hits that A, it's a passing note on its way to the relative minor. So the main chord is still playing the B flat, but then the A is just a passing note, really. As the bass man wanders down to this G minor. Then it's a C minor. And it's probably that. The root would be an F, but he's chosen to play this because it feels like it's leading you down to the G minor, which I think is the main key of it, really.
Every single thing could blow my mind.
God, her voice is so cool, isn't it? It feels like she's not pushing too much air through it, but she's getting so much traction with the vocal cords that are connecting not just to each other, but to our hearts. Yeah. Yes, to our hearts. She never really sounds like she's roaring, but there's so much sass in that. She's found a way to control her delivery. It's exciting to listen to. She's a master of this stuff, really.
I don't know anybody who's truly satisfied.
She's found a way of controlling the dynamic part of her voice where, I don't know. You know, you'd normally expect to sort of feel that, the body come through that, or if it's heavily compressed, and if that broken part at the beginning of that phrase is, you'd expect that to be considerably quieter than her sort of blasting through it. But she's really got the control to do that. If it was just a studio trick of really compressing the vocal, you'd be able to hear that actually, because it'd be more like it would sound like she has like 2 ping pong balls in her mouth, and everything would be popping a lot as well. But it's not like that. The stuff that's being sucked out is. I think she's doing it. Yeah, I would imagine that when you record her voice, it's probably a pretty, consistent linear waveform that you'd be witnessing.
Body's truly satisfied.
Truly satisfied. How does she? It's that. She's singing from this part of the voice. Maybe that's what she does a lot, actually. Sort of just. It's very throaty vocal, isn't it? I'm trying to figure out how she does it, because it never really gets out of second gear, but it's always got loads of emotion in it. It's brilliant.
To keep
I'm trying to imagine where she's placing that.
So I hope I learn to get.
I wasn't expecting the drums to come in. I thought this was going to stay small.
You just want me.
She changes the tonality of that note towards the end of it, doesn't she? Me. I don't know. She does. It changes a bit in a sort of, gets a bit tangy towards the end. I think she's got loads of range in terms of the way she can adjust the tonality of a note. It's weirdly, the singer that it's reminding me of, or just in her capacity to do that, is Rick James.
Why am I obsessing about the things I can't control?
That vibrato technique is coming from here, I think. Maybe.
Why am I? Why?
I'm doing a pretty reasonable Adele impersonation here. I wasn't expecting that either. Full of surprises, me.
From people I don't even know.
People I don't even know. No. It gets a little filthy bit on the end there. It's nice, isn't it? Nice to have a little bit of filth on the end of it.
In these crazy times, I
Crazy.
hope to find something I can cling on
to. She does a little bend down at the end of that. How come everything she's releasing these days is a vocal masterclass?
You better believe for you I've cried.
For you I've cried. For you I've cried. She's such a strange vocalist. It's like a lot of this stuff going on, and then just into that. Oh, I know what that is. That's soul singing.
You get the brunt of it.
You get the brunt. Now it's getting towards that sort of ping pong balls, but she's doing that for effect, I think. I always think that's the challenging part of it. When you, like, imagine if like Shirley Bassey was singing that note, she'd be like, ah! And it'd be taking your fucking face off. But when Adele does it, you get the feeling that you could be in a room with her and she'd be singing and it would just be nice. Just be nice. Kind of manageable volume. Echoing. See, when this track's taken off, that's when you sort of hear the compression in action on a voice. You can get away with riding a vocal. If there's sort of areas of Adele's range that's a bit quieter, you can get away with sort of moving the fader up and down to make it a linear listening experience. But here, the compression seems to be more visibly employed. You know, it's definitely detectable, almost palpable. And I think maybe that's because it always gives the illusion of things being louder than it really is. So it's kind of, without actually having to increase the volume of the vocal, it's sitting in the track in a more prominent way because the bits that you wouldn't expect to hear cutting through are properly there because it's been squished a little bit. But I reckon they've cranked up a bit just for this section of the song.
You just want me.
See, I just love that variety. Me. She gets a little bit. How can I? I think it might be that like the sort of the equalizational emphasis moves to something in the sort of upper mids there. It gets a bit not nasally because she's already expressed the words, but she brings that side of it in at will. It seems. That looks like an upright piano on the bridge there, but it's making the sound of a Hammond organ as well. You might have two keyboards underneath the hood there.
That's just like a very heavy thing to have to talk about.
Descends into a G minor blues jam while she's doing a dramatic monologue.
I didn't get to go on and make new memories with him.
It's really interesting to have like a song and a vocal that's speaking quite explicitly about a relationship or a time in your life or, you know, an emotional event, and then to actually break it down even further with a dramatic monologue that isn't designed to sort of rhyme or do anything like that. It doesn't sound like William Shatner. I never had a chance to explore these new memories. It's not that with loads of echo on it. It's just seems to be her conversationally discussing her divorce at the end of a nice sort of blues number. Not blues number. It's not blues, is it? You know what I'm talking about. It's pretty stark. It's pretty rare. It's raw. She sings it really beautifully. And there ain't nothing wrong with it. She looks great as well. So that's that. Brilliant stuff, Adele. Thanks again. I'll see you again in 1 year's time. Justin Hawkins rides again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, watch one of these two videos and join me for my annual Adele analysis. Let's make this a tradition, because all traditions must be observed, except for the bad ones. Cheers.